Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. So, okay, David says he's interested in the comics. Is the Star Wars one? Yes, we are working on. So we have two options today. We can work on the next page for the Star Wars comic book. So this is the page I'm working on. So you can have a look at the puddles I'm doing here. Uh, I'll show you how I started here. Uh, this real kind of messy rough of each panel here with a bit of the dialogue, and then from that I go on to kind of using my pencil brushes here, and then I go with a red one on top to fix what I feel like I need to fix on those pencils. So let me kind of blind this layer here. There we go. So if we are working on the actual comic, then we'll be inking this today. If not, here is the other option, and I'll show you right now. Let me have a look. So let's do. I have some custom sizes here for Instagram for optimal size. So let's check one of these guys here, and bear with me. I'm bringing in one of these pictures. There. So this is just a picture I took with my iPad of my sketchbook. Oh, sorry, I haven't looked at the chat. Hi, Elisa. Yeah, my day's going all right actually. It's been sunny the last few days here in the UK, so it was pretty chilled. Just getting on with the stuff really. As many of you know, we are on lockdown here, so we're just kind of getting on with things. Right, so this is the other option. So we'll be designing this guy here. As you can see, okay, let me do this here. Let's use blue, and I'll use this pencil here. Oop, done. There we go. So yeah, we'll be kind of roughing up this guy here, mainly because he, I kind of drew him really roughly, really quickly. But his proportions are all off. This is wrong. This is kind of way here. I'm not sure what's going on with his feet, and this is the optimal position I want for him. So sometimes I will kind of draw in the details when I'm kind of in the kind of in the middle of it, like when I'm really inspired by it. Then later on I'll do kind of like a little thumbnail to show how the proportions should go into this character. So yeah, this is the other option we have today. So that's what we have there. So let's see what all of you are saying about it. Switch to the character looks nice. All right, today kids were allowed to go for a walk. Oh wow, okay. Well, that's pretty nice. I mean, I guess good to see that that people are being allowed to kind of move a tiny bit better. And this is only for Europe. I don't really know what's going on in the US. So anyway, so shall we do comic or shall we do character design? It's up to you guys. In the meantime, both are cool. Okay, so it seems like you guys are not too bothered about it. So let me fix my table here. I've got a little stand for my iPad Pro. For anyone who wants to look at it, it's called Parblo, Parblo. It's a nice little metal stand. No, actually it's not metal, it's aluminium, I think. And it's pretty light and it's pretty good. I like it. So anyway, all right. So you guys are fine with either comic book or character design. So I'll do comic, and there's, I have a bunch of you saying do character design. So, oh, by the way, I'll be releasing my my kind of screen tone brushes that I've customized for myself. I'll be releasing these guys on Patreon in a couple of days. I think I'm just getting them ready, but this is what you'll be getting. These guys here, because I know a lot of you are asking about it, like how you get those screen tones. So I kind of put some of my textures together from the textures I got online and things that I've have in my kind of archives and things and files. And I made these little brushes here. And they're pretty useful if you're into that kind of screen tone look, that kind of manga kind of look. So there you go. Okay, I'll delete that. Let's have a different layer here. Let's make sure we have these guys here. Let me go over the cool comic. All right, yeah, we're going for a comic then. All right. Hey, Scout. All right, Scout, Eugene, Ricardo, Elisa, David. Hello, all of you. Hey. All right, so let's lower the opacity on this a tiny bit. Let's go for a black dark thing. Now, for this, I'm using my Muji number 4. And I think I'm using it at size 50. 50, there you go. Yep. Let me have a look at one of the old pages, just to compare, just in case, and make sure I'm on the same kind of... All right. Yeah, that looks about right. If I press it enough, yeah, definitely the same brush. Okay. All right, so back to this here. Oh, right, okay, so David actually tried the True Grit brushes. Yeah, you know, they're nice. They're a good way to start. You can get the free set. So, you know, honestly, I got the free set here. You can see it here, the True Grit sample, and that was really good. And I bought the exclusives, and I bought the screen tones they have. And to be honest with you, I didn't use them. I'm not gonna say I wasted that money because I used some of the free sample ones, but I wasn't too crazy about the ones I bought. I have to be honest, but they're pretty good brushes, and you know, I'm glad some of you found them quite useful. All right, so let's try and go for this guy here. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat so I can keep up with you guys. There you go. So let's have a nice close-up on the face of this guy. I hope some of you are following the comic. As you know, this has started off with kind of sketches from corrupted stormtroopers with a lot of weapons and kind of customized weaponry and clothing that you don't usually see on Troopers of the Empire. So that's kind of what inspired me to work on this comic, which is mainly for fun, really, mainly to just get this stuff out there. As a fan of Star Wars myself, I feel like it's like a fun little thing to do. All right, here, a little patch. I love characters with eye patches. It's one of those things. I feel like any character you add an eye patch to, it instantly makes it into like a really badass character. Okay, and he's got like a bit of a little scar here. When I started drawing this comic, this character had a different kind of scar, which is just like a line. But I feel like recently I've been drawing the scars with like a little double line, so it feels like there is a bit of depth to it. Okay, no ketchup, no life. What are you guys going on about? All right, delivery driver forgot my ketchup. All right, okay. Okay. This guy here. Every now and then I'll zoom out and have a look at how things are looking just from the point of like the inking lines, and that's looking all right. Maybe a little less of that, a little less of this one here. Yeah, that feels a lot better. What about 2 eye patches? Well, you know, blindfolded characters, I'm sure they look cool, but you'll have to have an explanation for that, and I don't think you can be an officer of the Empire under those circumstances. Or maybe you can, actually. Who am I to say that? That's ridiculous, actually, yeah. I'll take that back. Okay, so, yeah. The main issue I have with this guy is I have to make him look a certain age, you know, like he has to look kind of worn down by experience, and, you know, he needs to look kind of old, and I'm struggling with that sometimes. I think in the last page there were frames where he looked a bit too young for what the actual character has to look. But I'm getting there. I think with comic book work, the more you draw a character, the kind of more it grows with you, and then it becomes easier to draw it. So usually for me, like the first few pages, characters always feel a bit off, and the last few pages, they just kind of they're part of you. They're kind of natural for you to draw them. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, he looks pretty evil. He's part of the Empire. Okay. Yeah, looking good. Again, this time I'll do the same thing we did last time, where I do a bit of the line work, then I do a bit of the filling in and some textures, so you guys don't have to sit here and see me do the same thing over and over. Uh, that is definitely one roughed up guy. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. Also, his haircut is meant to be like kind of standard kind of military guy haircut, and I'm struggling a lot with that too. Uh, yeah. All right. Ooh. Whoa, it's a big brush here. Okay, that's better. Right here. Feel a little undercut here. What's going on here? Right. Bits of texture here. Some wrinkles, kind of get that old vibe from him, Uh, the teeth really helped, right? Okay. So now let's go for that fancy furry coat that he's got. Actually, one of my favorite bits about this character is the way he dresses. And he doesn't actually wear his coat. He just kind of, fuck that. Right. He kind of puts it like on top of his shoulders, and I kind of like that look. Reminds me a lot of there used to be a really old film, uh, Final Fantasy film with like really early CGI stuff, and there was a character there who had like a leather coat that looked a bit like this without the fur, and he used to wear it really badly, and I used to get obsessed with that kind of look. um, all right, needs to look furry. Okay, no, that's not furry enough. Let's do it from the top. Oh, a floating eye patch. That's interesting. Okay. That's the other thing. I think there is a difference between the aesthetics of the Star Wars films, like depending on the era. I feel like I'm more in line with the Star Wars films that look really rough, that look really kind of. I don't really know how to tell it, how to say it, like really gritty kind of looking Star Wars films, where everything looks dirty and kind of put together badly. Um, which makes the Empire stand out a lot more because it's all really slick and black and shiny. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Don't get me started on this whole Star Wars politics. Okay. See how this guy's looking here. Yeah. I feel like his face is not really defined here, mainly because I haven't got the black feelings in there. I'll get them eventually. Let's see. I'll get that eventually. All right. Okay, let me catch up with the chat here. Cinema, one of the first videos in the channel with the Japanese urban fashion. Oh wow! Okay, so this guy's old school. So Eugene, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. He remembers one of my early videos here on my YouTube channel about where to get reference for characters, and I used this book that apparently is from a magazine that used to come out about fashion in Tokyo, in an area of Tokyo where people were dressing differently to how everyone else was dressing. These books are called Fruits, and it's basically a bunch of pictures of people back then dressing in all this kind of not in line with the rest of Japan kind of way of wearing clothes. A lot of them dress with kimonos, and they look like kind of raving samurais, and it was pretty interesting. And I always found that book quite interesting for character design. Okay, this here. More Western than sci-fi, yes. Vili's got a point in it, which brings me down to the Mandalorian, for example. I feel like the Mandalorian has that kind of rough aspect to it, and I haven't finished watching it actually, but it certainly has a lot of that, and the storytelling in it reminds me a lot of Kurosawa films. It's like a really samurai thing, but I think there is a connection there. I feel like a lot of Western films took a lot from samurai films, and therefore, when you look at them now, they're very similar in many ways, narrative-wise at least. Okay. So you know what? I think this guy, I have to check for reference the insignias he's got. So you guys can't see this, but I'm looking in my my computer. I'm having a look at what insignias he's got, because I've had to do the research to see what kind of insignias will the general of the empire have, how many of those little squares he has. So just bear with me while I look at this. Okay, 2020. Corrupted here. All right. So I'm looking at this. Let's see. Oh, I see. I can barely see it. Okay, so I think he's got a bunch of those. He's a general after all, so 1, 2, 3. Then do another one there. Do a little. There you go. Okay. Bit of clothing folding here. Give it a bit of. Yeah. Now let's see how we're looking at. Yeah, it's looking good. I feel like without the black filling in, it looks like he's really fat, but he's not. So we'll do the shading now, so you guys can see what it looks like. How do you live stream your iPad? Okay. So to live stream from your iPad, I think I found this way where you can connect your iPad to your computer, and this is only if you have a Mac, as far as I know. You can connect it to your computer, and the streaming software detects it as a new device, as like a different screen, and that's how it works really. So just look it up. If you have an iMac and you have an iPad, I'm sure you can do it. Okay, so now let's go for this brush here and start doing the filling in. Whoop. Too much. Yeah, no. It's probably just too big here. All right. Yeah. So for this comic, I like to have a bit of like a brushy texture. So I'm using this brush just to fill in the black, but I'll show you in a bit what I do to give it that kind of brushy texture look. I think this brush, Inca, this brush comes with Procreate, and it's got a really nice, look at that, really nice ending to it. And I like to use it to give it that brushy look. Look at that. Yeah, I like that kind of roughness to it. But I'll still use that one to just fill in the bits that just need to be kind of filled in mechanically. Okay, so kind of let me put this here. Let me drink some water. Okay, Ian, any advice for getting over an artist block? Oh, mate. Tell you what, best thing you can do, go on Pinterest and look at a bunch of pictures and just, without thinking about it, just draw stuff. Like, set yourself like a little task of, I don't know, drawing 6 guys or 6 girls, or sorry, or draw, I don't know, swords or skeletons, and just do it without thinking. Put on something in the background, something that inspires you, like a TV show or like an anime that you like, or like a Ghibli film, and just do that to relax, so you take that pressure off you. I feel like a lot of the time you feel like you need to finish something, and that kind of blocks your inspiration, I think. So do that, and also, don't forget what kind of stuff gets you inspired. So read comics, play games, watch films, and while you do it, always kind of be on the lookout for that stuff that kind of gets you going. Okay, so filling in this guy here, I feel like, right. Yeah, there you go. So we can check. Yep, kind of looks like he's got a neck now, kind of. Yeah. Okay. Let's use a little messy brush. Inker here. There you go. Messy brush. Kind of works, doesn't it? Yeah. Go. Okay. I'm reading Ricardo's constant references. Yeah. The second. Hello. The second. The second to what? That's the real question here. Okay. Back to Muji 4. By the way, all of you who are patrons, you should have these brushes already. I made them available ages ago, so have a look on the archive. There should be like a zip with all of these brushes: Muji 4, Muji 2, Muji 3, and the dry ink brush that I used to fill in the stuff as well. Okay, so let's go back to this. Some ink brush. So again, there is no real methodology to how I'm doing this. I like to kind of go with the flow of it. If it feels right, I just do it. Oh, nice. So David is actually using those brushes. Good. I hope you found them useful. And I'll be putting up the screen tone ones fairly soon. Hopefully next week, if I manage to put them together for you. Okay. Just need to pack them up. You see how dry they look? I like that kind of dryness to them. It adds texture, and I really like that. Okay. Yeah. It adds a little something to it. Alright, okay, here. It's a bit of roughness to it that I like. Oh god. I think there's a lot of pollen these days here in the UK, and it gets my throat really dry. Don't worry, I'm not ill or anything. I haven't left my house in forever, so I'm safe. But yeah, allergies and that's a real thing here. It's a real struggle. It's always the first and you're the second. All right, that's fair enough. That's a good an explanation as any other. Okay, so let's work on. Yep. Wait, I want to add a bit of texture to this guy using line work. Muji 4. Yep. Yeah. I know these tiny lines, they don't seem like they make a difference, but they do to me. There you go. Nice. Adds a little bit of fur coat texture here. Kind of look cartoony, but I like them. Go to the pub. Oh god. Do I miss going to the pub? Yeah, there's a part of me that misses going there and meeting up with my mates and just having a pint casually and not thinking much about it. But it's for our own safety and everything that's going on. So hopefully we can kind of get through this together. Okay, nice. This guy's also it. Yeah. All right. So there's another character here. So far in the pages of the story, this is kind of the second character that you've seen the most. He's like a. He is the guy preparing everything for the general. He's the idiot who filled the place with the stormtroopers, but this guy doesn't really like stormtroopers. So that's kind of where the story is at right now. For those of you who are not following it, although you should. I'm putting a lot of work in this, and all right, let's get closer to that guy here. Is his head too big? Let's have a look. Nah, looks alright. I think I need to kind of zoom out a tiny bit, otherwise he's going to end up with a massive head. Okay. Okay. I have to check how many little squares he's got on his uniform, so bear with me. 3. Alright, he's got 3 little squares. Okay, he's not a general, he's a commander. Okay. 3, there you go. No. The tiny lines make all the difference. Oh, great. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you noticed. Usually I think it's just one of those things you do it for yourself, right? You add a few lines and you think no one will ever notice, which is fine, you know, as long as you're happy with what you are producing. Okay, little build here. I hope you guys are enjoying the comic. I know there are not many pages out yet, but I'm hoping for the story to kind of pick up from here. I think we're still in the part of the story where it's kind of introductory of what's going on. Hopefully we'll get past that and we'll get to the meaty side of the story, you know, the corrupted. The corrupted stormtroopers. Okay. Tiny boots here. There we go. I don't like his tiny little mouth. Fuck that. It looks like he's smiling. Right, okay, wait. Why does he look like he's smiling? I think there's something here. There you go. Okay, it's a lot better. Alright, so let's go to the inking of it. It's right in here. Okay. By the way, if you guys have any questions, any doubts about anything that I'm doing or anything that you'd like to ask, that's what I'm here for. So just give me a shout and I'm happy to answer it. Okay. Let's get messy with the Inca brush. Yeah, okay. Get a bit messy here. So let's see, maybe I can turn into this into a printed magazine. Right, I could. Not sure how that flies with Disney since they own all the rights to Star Wars now. But yeah, I'm happy with publishing it on Patreon for now. Feel like I get to work on it thanks to you guys, and I get to share with you, and I think that kind of works for now. And we'll see how the whole story develops. Sometimes I work on something for months and realize that I don't like it that much. So I have to see how I feel about it. Okay. Let's, oh no, did I do the line work in there? A tiny bit, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Brushy, brushy here. Okay. Right. So now we move on to these imperial guards who I've never seen fighting anywhere, but they look intimidating and they look cool. So that's partly why I included them in the story. It's like whoever they're with, they make them seem important, right? Still remember the first time I saw them on Return of the Jedi, and you kind of want to see them fight, and they never do. Okay. But this is not working here. Oh, nice. All right, so we got people doing their own thing here. So Elisa is coloring her own stuff right now. So that's pretty good. That kind of makes this into a bit of well, I was going to say drink and draw, but I'm not drinking myself, although I should. But next time I'll just have a beer here while I'm drawing with you guys, and we'll make this into a drink and draw thing. Okay. Right. Don't really know what's about this, but this guy looks like a bit like a dildo. Let's try and fix that. Oh, for fuck's sake! Do you guys see that? I think I've just put this line work into the coloring in. Well, not coloring in, but filling in layer. So let's cut him out. Cut. Paste him. And then merge him onto the line work. Merge down. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try and give it some texture with the Inca brush. It is like group drawing, isn't it? There's something relaxing about drawing and just chilling with people. I used to go to drink and draw things like events here in London, but there was something about it that I didn't like in some of them, where they will have you do activities and kind of things like, oh, we all have to draw the same thing, or kind of making rules for you to draw and things that you need to join in. And like honestly, I just wanted to chill and draw whatever I felt like and just chat to people and kind of relax, really. Okay. So once we finish this panel, we'll do the screen tones, and then I can show you guys how I apply my screen tones to these things. There's not much mystery behind it, really, but you can see it when I do it. So, all right, 4. Let's do this guy here. I know how to draw these guys by memory now. I've drawn a bunch of them now. Probably more than I've drawn stormtroopers in this comic. I feel like there is an Imperial Guard in each panel. A bunch of them. Okay. Whoop, no. Okay. There we go. They're looking very phallic today. What's wrong with them? All right. Okay, that was it. It needs more folds, so you can see the clothing behind it. Yeah. Okay. His little tiny spears, which seem really useless to me, honestly. Again, they look cool, although I'm not sure what the purpose of them are. Okay. Get some inky texture on that guy. I really like this brush. What's my favorite Star Wars ship or robot? It's my favorite ship. Don't really know. I haven't thought about it. You know, I never think about this kind of full-on questions where you have to define what's your favorite of something. When it comes to these films, I kind of look at them as a whole. Tell you what, one of the this may be controversial to many of you, and I know like people who are really into old school Star Wars, they wouldn't like this, but the first Star Wars film that I watched was Return of the Jedi, without any context of anything, without having watched any of the other films, and now I know from the old films that was the kind of the most hated film that there was. People didn't really like it, but it was the first film I watched, and I loved it. I loved how badass Luke was in it, and he was all dressed in black, and he didn't care about anything, and he was really cocky, and I really liked that. And yeah, it had Ewoks and all of that, but it also had Boba Fett jumping up and down and flying on his jetpack, and that stuff really sat with me. Okay, what's going on with the music here? Oh, that's why. Sorry, guys. Let me go back. All right. Filling it all in black here. Then we'll do the extras, the guys in the background. Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, these tiny triangles in the sky, those are destroyers floating over the planet, just to make it look all a bit more intimidating. Okay. Okay. Look at that. I really know how to draw these guys now. When I started this comic, I had to look at reference all the time, and now I'm just flying through them, you know? Good, that's one there. Let's have another one here. Lower, because he's further away. Whoop. Okay. A little. Yeah. Take a bit off that. Bit of the head. Nice. Alright. By the way, for those of you following the story, has anyone noticed this guy following the general across the pages? This guy in a black tunic. Does anyone have any theories as to who he is and what he's doing there? Okay. We'll fill it all in black later, so we'll leave that there for now. This guy here. Let's see what David is saying. So, I love the bounty Robert from Star Wars. Oh yeah, he is pretty cool. He dies though, doesn't he? Oops, sorry. I should have not said that in case anyone hasn't seen The Mandalorian. Uh, oh yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. So yeah, I really like that guy. He's pretty cool. And I think after The Mandalorian got released, he has become a very popular character. Same as Baby Yoda, as all of you know. Okay. Let's see how that's looking so far. Yep, getting there. We almost got a panel complete. And that's the world of comics. All right. Where? Okay. So another guy here. Okay. This is some clouds. They're supposed to be in the desert, by the way. Okay. Filling in with black now. Try ink. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the messy brush, Inca. I love that brush. Nice dry texture. Yeah, you can feel that little dryness going there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, okay. Then we have to fill in those guys with full black all in here. So this guy, mainly because he's all, dressed in black, I'll have to go over the lines with white, which is usually what I do digitally. But if I was doing this traditionally, what I will do is kind of draw around the lines, kind of leaving a white outline so you don't lose the character. I'll show you this right now, actually. So opacity, then you go onto the line work, and you kind of go over the lines with white, just like this. Just like this. There you go. There you go. Okay. Whoa. Black. We need black here. Few characters here, so it feels like there is a multitude of them standing around. Alright, so now let's do the flying destroyers, which is basically triangles in the sky, really. Let me see if I can do that with the Inca brush. Yeah, kind of looks nicer, I feel. Yeah. There you go. Well, yeah. No, there's a big one here. Right, nice. All right, so let's take that off. Good. Let's add some screen tones to this. Okay, so I'm going to use the brushes that I've prepared for you. So let's start with this guy here. Smaller. Just like that. You know, there's no real science to it. That's kind of what I do, really. Just kind of brush it over. Oop, that was a bit careless. All right, let's do that there. And then, you know, from that True Grid sample, I used this one here just to kind of give it a bit of texture, but it's pretty much the same, really. That's why I kind of made my own brushes. You know, because I feel like some of them, they don't have what I need from them. So I have this thick one. Oh yeah, look at that one. This one really, that's difference here. Okay. Nice. All right. A bit smaller. Bits there. Okay. So now let's go for something softer. And I have this soft one that I created myself here. So let's make it smaller. Kind of works, but I'm going to use that for the sky, I think. Just like that, tiny bit. It adds a bit of kind of, don't really know how to say it. It feels like it adds volume to things. So we'll see. Oh, the chat. Okay. The mysterious person got the general this car for his disobedience in his younger years. Well, that's a theory. Yeah, that's a start. Okay. So now let's go and collect this texture from one of the old pages. I have this texture that I use, that one. So I'm just gonna copy that. Paste it here. Okay. So I'm just gonna mask it. And for those of you who don't know how masks work, it just means that whatever I color in black disappears, and whatever I color in white will show the texture coming through. So that's kind of how masking works in most kind of design softwares like Photoshop and Procreate. Okay, there you go. A bit of, kind of looks like it's a gray color that I'm using, but it's a half tone texture. If you look at it from close here, it's really nice to kind of bring out some of the characters, make them pop in the page. Okay, you can use it to kind of bring in a bit of kind of replicate shinies, like kind of replicate how plastic things shine a tiny bit. Feeling like I'm using it for the hair of the general here. You know, I'm not an expert, but I think this is something that manga artists do really, really well, and I like to kind of try and learn from that. Okay. Okay, so that's panel 1, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's kind of panel 1 sorted. What I'm going to do is separate these layers into folders just to kind of keep everything organized. And I'm gonna separate the panels. The line work for the panels, well, the the actual frames, I do those in Clip Studio only because it's a lot easier to do it that way. But I mean, you can do them here if you want. It's just, so I'll just use a blue pencil to mark the line where the panel ends. Yeah, now do it a lot higher here. There you go. Okay. Ooh, okay, let's go into here. I think I've got some brushes here to help with that. Okay. No. Have I got the right brush? No. I need that one, thick. No, that doesn't work. Okay, we'll just use the texture for it. There. All right. Okay. So, I'm actually quite pleased with his pose. He's supposed to be crossing his legs and kind of playing with his gloves. Okay. So, brush Muji 4 here in black. And let's have another layer here, another line work layer, just in case, you never know. Again, he needs to look old-ish, you know. You need to see the experience on his face, you know. Years of service to the empire in every wrinkle. Where, okay, no. There we go. Right, this guy's pretty sassy. He's pretty stylish too, you know. He's one of those classic villains, you know. Okay. Furry coat. I feel like his fur is getting bigger and bigger on every frame, and I'm okay with that. I'm here for it. Okay. Supposed to be the sleeves of his coat because he doesn't wear it. Not like that. Okay. Let's check if I'm going the right way. Yeah, yeah, it looks about right. Okay, let's carry on. Where? Here. Okay. Okay. Now he's supposed to be sitting inside a very protective vehicle, but I couldn't find anything in Star Wars that didn't look just like a regular ship with just like a little square. So I'm trying to stay true to the whole franchise, but this is meant to be like a security kind of limousine kind of thing. And I don't think I kind of captured that, but at least it looks like he's safe. Like he's being protected. I think that's the main thing for me in these few pages. That it needs to look that this guy is really important, and he's he's very important to the empire, and his security is you know the kind of the highest security you can get. Uh, when you're not the emperor. Okay. Mm, yeah. Okay. Now let's draw the lines for his little companion, the mysterious guy that's kind of in the background, just kind of walking beside him. There. Add little windows here. He's in no trouble at all. No, definitely not. Uh, this guy, he feels in control of everything. He's a general of the empire. He's got nothing to fear. Okay. Oh man, what's going on with the music? Okay, I'm going to change the pace a little bit. Alright, here we go. God, my hair keeps on getting on my head, not on my head, keeps on getting in front of me, in front of my eyes. God, I feel like I'm going to need a haircut within a month, badly. Okay. Little chair, you know, needs to look comfy but safe. Sounds like a snake just from Rick and Morty. Oh no, it's a Samurai Champloo soundtrack. But now I can't listen to it the same way. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay, we'll this guy here is like an Imperial Guard, and they have these weird gloves that blend in with the uniforms. They're red. Yeah. Okay, a lot of folds here. It's got his little weapon here, wherever that is. If you notice, in the first few pages of the comic, I just assume they're like electric, like these kind of little sticks they got. All right. Oh, really? So at least I learned how to play the piano just to play Samurai Champloo. Uh, I love the soundtrack in this anime. It's sublime. It's a lot of Nujabes and a lot of really kind of chilled out stuff. I really like it. I get good memories from listening to Samurai Champloo, just being in college, drawing a lot, and really into samurais, and kind of mind blown by how great this anime was. Okay, let's try that. Let's see. I feel like, yeah, I'm not adding enough texture here. Okay, filling in with black. Okay, here we go. We read a comic. No, I actually didn't know there was a comic of Samurai Champloo. I'm quite shocked. I had no idea. I got to know the show through the anime, and that was it really. Is there anything else to the comic? Yeah, going outside, eh? Okay. fill in his little boots. His little general boots. Where? Yeah. Where? Okay. Oh yeah, and this guy all in black. He's in full on black, and then we'll go over the lines with white. Okay. Lower the opacity in that. Go to the line work layer and work in those lines with white. Would you fall? Yeah. Extra funny stuff. Oh, I love the little bits of comedy in Samurai Champloo. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I had no idea that there was a manga of it. And honestly, I mean, it seems natural that it was one. I just never thought about it. You know, the actual show was so good that I never thought about the actual, of it being a comic out there. Is there anything else to the story? Usually with animes, the stories go a bit longer, or there's a lot of characters that they don't have, or things like that. Um, okay, going back to full on black. Okay, guys, we'll going to fill this in. We'll add the textures. We'll add a bit of the screen tones to that panel. And once we are done with this panel, well, we'll call it a day. But let's try and get these two panels complete. To a complete kind of level that I'm happy with. Okay, messy brush here. Well, those of you following the story, you'll see the finish page fairly soon, next week for sure. Okay. Messy brush here. Get it bigger. MTFZ? No. The anime movie? No, I don't really know. MTFZ? No. Tell me about it. What is it? Oh, it was released after the show. Okay, like an extra stuff. Okay, right. Okay, so I'll definitely check it out. So it'll be nice to see what they've done with it. Okay. The trailer. Okay, I'll check out the trailer. So MTFZ. All right. It's about corrupted society and kids trying to survive. Ooh, sounds pretty good. I'll check it out. Thanks, David. I'll have a look. Okay. Right. Time for screen tones. Okay. Do I want that there? Nah. Let's do it here. Let's remove that so we know what we're doing here. Feel like he needs a lot more texture. Anchor here. Oh, Feast of the North Star. That's an old school anime. I used to watch. I think there was a really old anime in the 90s, and I think I used to watch reruns of that. There was a lot of punching, and and it was quite brutal. Uh, honestly, I don't remember what it looked like. I have to look into back into it. I remember it being good, but what did I know? I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8. Okay. Here we go. Nah. Screen tones, soft, let's do that one. Nah, it's too big. Let's do that one. Nah. There we go. Cobalt. Okay, let's see. Hey, yeah, Mad Max Bruce Lee looking dude. All right, you guys are talking about the main character from the North Star. Yeah, I've seen him. He's pretty badass. Where? No. What's going on? Whoa! What is going on? Oh, I see. I've got the wrong brush. Here. Yeah, so that's that's part of that kind of vibe of 90s animes where all the characters were really muscly and really like massive. Okay. Screen tones here. Okay, let's check where the panel ends. Okay, here. So some real men smashing each other's heads. Yeah, I bet you like Berserk too. It's like Berserk has got that 90s vibe of muscly men, and you know, Guts is just a brute with a massive sword. Okay. There. Now a bit higher. Come on. No. God damn it. I'll start from here. Then I'll delete the rest. Yeah. Sort of better. Okay. Let's move that out. And voila. Here we go, guys. That's how everything is looking. I need to kind of look back at the old pages, kind of see if I'm still within a style of what I'm trying to aim for here. I feel like I need more texture, maybe a lot more black. Yeah, I feel like the other pages they feel a lot messier, you know. Yeah, I feel kind of freer, you know, like there's got to be more movement in them. There we go, that's more like it. Do I always stream around this time? I'm trying to kind of make a habit of it. Kind of do it on a day where people can actually join in. So I feel like 10 p.m. is a good time for people in the UK and you know people in the US, like East Coast and West Coast. You know, so yeah, I'm kind of trying to do it on a Sunday where there's not much going on and people are, you know, kind of available. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys. So let's let me see. So okay, that's 2 panels. That's also it. So we'll finish this on the next live stream, and I hope you enjoy that. Join me for the next one when you get a chance, and I'll finish this page for you guys next week. All right, thank you all. Bye.